Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Robbie Krieger, the Flip Flop Flipper, in the cowboy hat, because I look good in it. And we're in Plano, Texas with Chandler Coker. We're gonna look at a flip that he's doing, your first flip ever.
Yeah, it's our first flip by ourselves, completely, you know, hands off, rails off, good to go.
Unbelievable, yeah.
Yes,
so
yep.
we just met with you and your partner at your office, and then we drove over here to check out what you got going on.
Yes, sir.
2,500 square foot. We were talking about numbers. We'll go through numbers when we go in there, and we'll look at what you're gonna do, how it's gonna turn out. Let's go see it.
Awesome, let's go.
What'd you call it?
It's called German schmear. So what it is Type S mortar mixed with paint. And what you do is you just kind of do a thin covering over this. We actually, the fireplace is already done, so I'll show you guys the fireplace.
We'll look and see what it looks like. All right, great.
So it gives it a characteristic. It's cheaper than paint, but it still gives it a good characteristic. Kind of change the color scheme of the house from a red brick that was more popular 20 years ago to how I know, and that's why it'll definitely stand out. So that's what the German schmear will look like.
I like it.
So it'll give it that white color with the eaves, with the darker eaves, darker roof, without painting, but it still gives it some character to it as well. So, yeah.
So what all? Obviously, floors, paint. New kitchens?
New kitchen, yep. So basically, for the most part, it was a cosmetic thing. One of the bigger things we did was there was a wall actually standing right here, separating the dining room from the living room.
Okay.
A little bit of an older concept. Everything was more cut off, so we opened it up, given an open concept. Ran a header beam right there just to give it that structural foundation. But other than that, yeah, just updating.
You ran the header? It wasn't there?
No, sir, we had to put it in. A new header, yes, sir. So this was another thing we did too that I wish I could show. I'll show you a before picture. But this was completely cut off. This extended all the way out right here, and there was a wall right here, and it was a completely separate nook. And so what we're doing now is we opened it up, knock this wall out here, and it completely opens up the whole concept. We're gonna put, there's already a sink right there, so we're gonna put a new sink in. We're gonna put butcher block, and you'll have kind of a coffee bar, any type of bar scenario.
Yep.
There's a window right there for like a serving bar outside.
Okay.
So it's just kind of one of those neat little things of this house that,
So we have granite here, and you can sit at the bar, or?
This will actually be butcher block. Everything else will be granite, but this specifically will be butcher block. And yeah, it'll be a bar you can sit at. It'll be a serving bar, coffee bar, kind of, whoever buys the house.
Were the cabinets existing there?
The cabinets were all existing.
And you saved them?
We saved them. They extended out a little bit. We cut it here instead of here and knocked out this whole wall. So originally, you would have walked through this. There was a doorway right here. You'd have walked around a wall into this other doorway. So
it's still, you had the nook and it serviced that room,
yes,
but
sir.
it just kind of enclosed the kitchen.
Yes, sir. Very closed off.
Oh, wow. So originally, 20 years ago, they really liked having everything closed in.
It was, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yep. So that was another thing we changed up. We went back and forth on knocking it out, but we thought that's just such a cool oddity that's not in every house that I think somebody will really be able to utilize.
And then what kind of floors will you go with?
So we're gonna go with LVP all through here. Tile will be in the kitchen, and the bathrooms I believe are already tiled. So I'll be able to show you that tile. But so we're actually purchasing the LVP this weekend. Tile's already been purchased.
That was great. You were able to save the cabinets.
Say that again.
Great that you were able to save the cabinets.
Yeah, all the cabinets were good. We did new cabinets in the bathrooms, new vanities and all that. But we were able to save these cabinets, paint them. They look great. Fresh paint, fresh hardware, all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
So, yes, sir.
So what else do we have?
So we'll go to the master. We'll show you guys the master first. Fresh coat of paint. We went with the gray and white theme. It'll complement we went with dark tile in the bathrooms. So this will be the master bath. What's up, brother? How are you?
Great, big master bathroom.
Yes, it is.
How are you?
So this will be the shower. It was a complete remodel of the shower. We went the dark. I think that's a slate tile.
Is this dark very popular in Texas? This
it
is the
is.
second house in 2 days that we've seen that has dark bathrooms.
That is
like
what's
this.
popular around here is the dark contrast with the light. So that's why we're going with a light exterior, dark contrast with the bathroom stuff. We'll have white tile in here.
Okay.
The other bathrooms do have the tile already in it, so we'll show you the white tile. We're going to put there was a tub insert here, so we're going to put a freestanding tub, big freestanding oval tub.
Like an old clawfoot
yes, sir.
replica type thing?
Yeah, and so we did all new counters in here, modeled how it was existing, but just a complete redo, updating, and then it's got a fairly decent size closet in here, contrasting with there's still the closet in the master bedroom.
Another
so there's
walk-in.
kind of two closets, so you know.
So it's his and hers. You got his.
Pretty much.
He gets the small one. She gets the nice
yeah,
one.
whichever one the wife wants is I'm sure
right.
the one she'll get. So
That's universally true.
Yeah, it
Works
is.
everywhere that way. Oh no, she'll get the bigger one. He gets
yeah,
the smaller.
exactly.
Yeah. Got it.
So
It's a good sized room too.
yeah.
How long will the renovation take you guys?
So this is our 4th week, I believe, on renovation. We estimated 6 to 8 weeks.
Okay.
Total, we'll probably honestly be right at about that 7-week mark.
Okay.
Countertops were gonna go in today. Our contractor got back with us that they had to push it back till Monday. So all the countertops should be installed Monday and Tuesday. Most of the other bathrooms are pretty much done. Like I said, they're working on this one. The tub's already been ordered. And then after that, the LVP is being purchased this weekend as well. So then that'll all be put in start next week.
Yep.
So yeah, so most of the rest of it will be probably here in the next 2 weeks.
Okay.
Finish around that 6-week mark
Nice.
and then finishing touches.
So then you get it right on the market as school ends.
Yep.
People are ready to make a move.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good time to sell in the summer.
Yes,
I mean,
sir,
It's
yeah.
nice to finish houses in May, put them on the market in June.
Absolutely, that's what we're hoping for. Get a good, rush in Texas. Texas market's in a little bit of a quiet time right now. Not a whole lot moving, but I think once we hit that summer, it's gonna really peak and a lot more movement. So it'll.
Very cool.
2 more bedrooms here with a Jack and Jill.
How many total bedrooms?
4 total bed, 3 bath.
4 beds, 3 baths.
Yep. So this will be that's the kind of tile. We would see this light tile and how it contrasts with the
Oh
dark.
wow, yeah.
Yeah. So kind of a little split, but. Yeah, so contrasts pretty well. This is the popular color scheme right now in Texas.
You
for sure.
should look at the bathroom here, McKenna.
Yeah, we'll come have a party in here.
Tell us
come on.
about it.
Yeah, so we in popular in Texas right now is the dark and light contrast. So we went with a dark tile on the wall with white floor tile is really kind of the popular thing with the gray, lighter walls. Allows the wall tile to really pop, and that's what people are liking in this area right now. So then we have this white right here. Everything is that kind of back and forth accent. So
Yep. I like the little Jack and Jill. So
Yep.
every room has access to a bathroom.
yes, sir.
Even though you got
Yep.
one extra bedroom.
And then there's kind of this. I say 4 bed. There's this room right here is kind of more of a.
Office or?
Well, yeah, it can double as either or. It just has an exterior door, which is a little bit more of an oddity in a bedroom. But they had a greenhouse at one point.
Are you saving the greenhouse or are you gonna take it out?
We go back and forth. Truth be told, we can't decide. We kind of were saving it towards the end of the project. We
Yeah.
like the idea of potentially having it, but we're definitely gonna have to fix it up a little bit. It's
redo the glass
a little bit
there
of an
or something.
eyesore, so we're
Yeah.
going back and forth on it.
Is that a chicken coop?
That would be a nice conversion to it. Yeah,
Are you allowed to have chickens here in the neighborhood?
Probably not in Plain. No, you may be able to.
Technically, there's no HOA.
So you may be able to.
There's
I
no
don't know.
HOA.
Yeah,
It's a voluntary.
it's a voluntary HOA. in
Oh
this
wow,
area, so
I love
yeah.
voluntary
I don't know how
HOAs.
that works, but yeah, this is interesting.
Yeah, so. So we haven't decided
got a little wood rot.
entirely what we were gonna do with it. Yeah,
You guys might not be able to see that, but I'm up here and I can see. We got a little wood rot up there.
Yeah, you can see it kind of come down. So I think more than likely we'll probably scrape it just because it won't be worth keeping, and it's a very
Your tile guy did a really nice job.
yes sir.
That's
Yeah,
good.
our tile guys are great. They
Really nice.
definitely.
Also,
are
they
very
set this up
valuable.
as a little sort of Jack and Jill,
It
so
is,
that the
yeah.
whole world can use it,
The guests,
but then
slash-
it comes right in from the room.
which is nice because it allows this room to still feel like a bedroom for
Yeah,
sure.
exactly right. I mean, it's got the closet. It's
Yep,
definitely a bedroom.
yeah. So yeah, and then you have the exterior your garage in the rear alley. I don't know how y'all are in Florida, but in this part of Texas, everything's alley. So garage doors on the rear.
This is pretty common, huh?
This is common in this, and then once you get more deeper into the suburbs, it'll open up to to
Did they do something in the attic, or is that just attic access?
So that is actually, it's really tight up there, but it's kind of it's a separate, so that's the true attic access right there. This actually goes up into a room that only sits above the garage. It's completely walled off up there, and it's just a little, maybe 8x8 triangular room. It's very shallow ceilings. You can't really even stand up in there. It's almost just like a little storage.
That's where Harry Potter goes.
And
Right?
it's pretty much exactly where Harry Potter goes.
You stick the kid you don't like
yeah,
up there.
exactly. There's no, there's no place to hide them underneath the
Yeah,
stairwell, so you got to put them in the
stairwell,
attic.
so you put them in the attic.
Yeah. In Texas, we have to do things a little different around here, but yeah.
Let's run through the math then. Tell us what you bought it for, how much you're going to have in the renovation, and then what do you expect to put it on
We
the
bought it
market
for $389.
Okay.
We bought it from a wholesaler. We budgeted $65,000 in the renovation, which we're going to be right on par. Get, a couple thousand one way or the other, but we're pretty much right on track for that. We estimate the sale price. The ARV came back at $570.
Okay.
So it was a pretty good, beneficial ARV for that for us. So that's probably what we're looking at listing it at. So we'll be all in interest and everything. We did the numbers. We should be all in about $465.
Okay.
$470. So we have a potential of $100,000 in spread between all in. So after realtor fees.
How much cash out of your pocket do you have in it?
So we actually have zero out of our personal pockets.
Okay.
So we used an investor for the down payment, and then we financed 70% of the loan plus 100% rehab. We financed
70% of the purchase plus 100% rehab,
yes, sir.
And then you went to an investor to do the down payment.
Yep, yes, sir.
So you got no cash in the deal,
no cash
all
in the deal.
OPM,
Yep.
other people's money. That's the way real estate gets done.
Yeah. So that was it was. Got a little creative with it, but
Yep.
it worked out. I think it worked out.
This
perfect.
is your very first deal.
Very first deal, yes, sir.
See, this can be done, guys. You don't have to have a pile of cash. I usually say you don't have to have a rich uncle or a rich father-in-law, but I think you might.
I might fail in that category, but yeah. So no, it's been awesome. It's been an awesome learning experience. We've learned a ton, and it's just proof that if you don't have the cash to get started, then we get creative.
I know your father-in-law, he's not going to treat you differently than he's going to treat everybody else.
Right.
Like, he's still going to look at the deal. We actually talked about it. He's going to underwrite them, and he said he helped you to underwrite like 8 or 10 deals before you actually found your first deal.
Yes, sir.
So it's about putting in the work, looking at everything. Yeah. You're now going to try and buy another one in the neighborhood. You're going to maybe even just blanket mail the neighborhood and say, hey, we'll buy your house at this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
good job,
get more deals.
Good job. Beautiful house. It's going to come out great. Your renovation's looking fantastic. It's looking fantastic. So tell us the story about how you got into real estate and how many houses you looked at before you found your first one.
So backstory on me, I'm a firefighter paramedic here in the area. I've been doing that for 4 years. So I originally got into real estate through my father-in-law. He has a lending company, and he's been in real estate for almost 30 years. When I first met my wife and started talking to him, he tried to get me into real estate. He said, hey, you can come be a loan officer with me and make a killing. I said, there's no way I want to go be a loan officer. I'm a fireman. I love what I do, all that. So I've been a fireman for 4 years, and finally just watching it from the distance, I got more into it. I started learning more, and it's funny, I went to a trade show with him probably 3-4 years ago, having done nothing in the business other than just be in the family and hear about it. I was talking to people and basically telling them exactly what Global did without having ever worked a day inside the lending company. I was like, oh, I actually enjoy this, this is fun. So I spent more time just around him, kind of got the bug to, okay, maybe, there's a lot of opportunity in real estate for those that want to work hard and actually do the work.
Yeah.
And, you've mentioned earlier today, a lot of people say they want to do it, but there's a small margin that are willing to do the work. And I've never been afraid of doing the work. So learning from him and whatnot, I got a couple books and read, and it just brought up conversations to him all the time and was asked questions, and finally was, all right, I'd like to try flipping a house. And I have a good buddy, Randy, who's off camera, works with my father-in-law full time, and I was like, all right, let's do this, let's jump in. So I bet we looked for 4 months and underwrote 20 or 30 houses.
Wow.
And we'd bring a couple to him, and he'd say, okay, and kind of let us figure it out, but reserve his opinion a little bit. Oh, maybe that'll work, maybe not. And then by the time we'd get deep enough. Nope, it's not going to work. Or we, you know, oh, I think this
You'd
one's going to
figure
work.
it out though. He let you figure it out.
He did let us figure it out a lot, which was really nice. There were a couple times he would give us a little tidbit of information or insight, you know, that was very helpful and make sure we don't completely screw up. But, you know, for a lot part, he let us learn the hard way, which is I learned better that way anyways.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, we probably looked at 20 or 30 deals. Sometimes we'd be like, oh, no, this one's going to work. This one's going to work. Appraisal would come back 50 grand less than what we were thinking. And we're like, oh, nope, that one's not going to work. Or, you know, we're like, okay, this, you know, we think it's going to be about 70 grand in rehab. So, all right, this one's going to work. And then we'd put it under contract, go get it quoted, and it was 100 grand.
Yeah.
And so it just kept falling through. So, you know, probably
Finally,
4
you got
or
a good
5
one.
months, it didn't work out, and the wholesaler called us. We came and walked it, and everything was in great condition. And we're like, I think this one may work.
Nice.
Ran the numbers, even with, you know, the wholesaler price and whatnot, it made sense. We pulled the trigger on it, and then next thing you know, we're real estate investors with a house.
And if you sell it, and let's say you have a $100,000 spread at the end of the day, and you sell it, and you have the costs and everything, you're planning to make 60,000, 65,000 maybe, maybe 70.
Yeah.
Not a bad day's work.
No,
I mean,
no. And
how long will the process have taken you start to finish include the 20 or 30 that you didn't buy?
Yeah, you know, if we sell it relatively quickly after this, we're looking at 6 to 8 months, maybe.
Okay, so 6 to 8 months worth of work,
Maybe.
and you're going to make 60 grand, let's say,
Yeah.
which is a salary for most people.
Absolutely.
For a lot of people, right?
Absolutely.
That's not a bad first deal.
And the beauty is, we made 60 grand, and we learned a heck of a lot more than that 60 grand
That's
worth
right.
just doing the first deal. We've already talking about how we want to restructure deals moving forward, that we can make it more profitable, create better systems to now we can maybe do 2 at once.
Yes.
Or, you know, that's one thing we really went big on is, hey, let's create a foundation of our contractors so that now we can potentially do 2 or 3 deals at a time.
Yeah.
And you know, really scale our portfolio if houses are moving in the right direction.
Guys, these are the things that you can only learn by doing that first deal. I mean, you could read all the books you want.
Yeah.
You could go to seminars. You can watch all the YouTube channels you want until you do your first deal and get that graduate level degree from having gone through it. You don't know that you need these systems. You don't know that you could do something a little bit different, right?
Yeah.
So this is amazing. That's a great job. Yeah. How did you find your first contractor?
So, how did I find my first contract? So it's funny, me being a fireman, everybody in the fire department always has a second gig, right? So I got a little creative with, hey, we don't have a lot of money. We actually used investor money to buy the house and then got a loan for the rest of the purchase price and the rehab. So we're really no money into it. So we didn't have a lot of extra cash to do this. So I partnered with somebody who had a crew that he was trying to start his own business with. And I gave him a % net profit at the back end. So I don't pay him anything up front other than what the exact cost is to do the rehab. He's gonna make all his money on the back end just like us.
Wow.
And that's how we structured it. And it's a win-win for everybody because he's out with no money out of pocket for him, building his construction business for no money out of pocket with us. We're getting a good solid contractor who's learning and growing with us.
You're getting the contractor work at cost.
At cost, 100%
And
at cost.
that's amazing. And then he gets to win by having you guys win.
Absolutely. So and that's the system we want to create is everybody wins together moving forward. And that's one thing that hopefully we're building with him. And so I told him, hey, get ready, because if this one's a success, we may have 2 or 3 done within the next year, and we only scale up from there.
Nice.
So that's kind of how we structured it.
Texas is raining on us.
It is.
Thanks for watching.
Stay
And
safe.
you want to tell them who you are and how they can contact you?
My name's Chandler Coker. As far as contacting me, I would reach out to Global Integrity Finance. That's kind of who we work with. That's my father-in-law's business, who we interviewed earlier today. So reach out to Global Integrity Finance. I also have an Instagram. It's at CCC_03. It's kind of my personal page, but you can reach out to me there. Toby Potter Official is my father-in-law if you want to get hooked up with him as well. So just kind of all working together to make things happen.
Yeah, and I know how important it is for anybody who's getting started in real estate to find the people who will actually give you the money. I say all the time, the money's not the most important part of the thing. You are the real estate investor. I believe that's true, but knowing someone like Toby sure as hell doesn't hurt.
No, absolutely not.
All right, thanks, man.
All right, thank you for coming out.
Yeah.